This video series is brought to you by the ASU Writing Center within the Academic Support Network. Thank you for joining me as we discuss Part 1 of Critical Reading and Engaging with Sources. This video, our first in the series, will discuss revision versus editing. Let's get started. To truly understand the difference between revision and editing, you first need to understand the difference between global and local concerns. Global concerns involve taking a big picture look at your writing, which means looking at things like your claim or purpose, your development of ideas, your organization of paragraphs, your use of transitions to connect ideas, if your introduction and conclusion are effective, and finally, your integration of evidence. When looking at global concerns, it involves addressing issues that are central to the meaning and communication of the piece. Global concerns are addressed through revision. Local concerns, on the other hand, involve taking a more detailed look at your writing, which means looking over things like your grammar choices, your spelling, your punctuation, your word choice, your sentence style and length, and finally, your citation style. When looking at local concerns, it involves addressing issues vital to preparing any finished piece. Local concerns are addressed through editing. We recommend looking over global concerns and revising first, since this can shift your overall writing. Local concerns and editing are the final step, once you know that most of what you've written will be staying. Now that we have a better idea of what you'll be looking over when you revise, let's cover some revision strategies. When revising, you should consider your overall draft. We recommend that you do not try and reread what you write immediately after you finish writing and start revising. Instead, step away and take some time to gain perspective on what you initially wrote. When you go back, read through a printed copy of your work when possible and make notes. If you are reading electronically, consider handwriting notes when you read through your draft or use comment or annotation features on the electronic version. You can note what is working well and what you may need to change, delete, or add. As you read, identify the impression of your work and what it is you are wanting to communicate to your readers. And finally, consider your use of examples or evidence in your essay or statement. Ask yourself, as you read, if you are providing appropriate examples or evidence to support the impression you want to make on your readers. After you have completed the revision phase and addressed global concerns, we can turn our attention to editing and local concerns. When editing, you want to consider the individual details of your draft. When editing, you are not focused on the content. Your content and organization have already been examined and changed in revision. The purpose of editing strategies are to help you focus on the way you have written your sentences. Rather than helping you evaluate the overall content of your writing, you are taking a closer look at things like your use of transitions, your use of punctuation, such as commas, semicolons, and quotation marks, your word choice, and your sentence length, and asking yourself or other readers if some are too short or too long. Remember that these strategies are used after you have revised your paper for ideas or content and overall organization. One editing strategy is to read your draft backward by sentence. This strategy allows you to focus on the grammatical structure and wording of each and every sentence by itself. Along the way, you might also discover that you have repeated sentences or ideas in different places. You can also read backward by word. Using this strategy allows you to focus on the word choice you have made for each sentence and to determine if any words need to be changed. Think about common mistakes you might make in your writing or stylistic changes you would like to make. As you read through your draft, highlight any examples of mistakes or styles that you would like to change in your writing. For example, if you often misuse commas, highlight all commas that appear, and then go back and analyze whether or not the comma was used correctly. If you think that you typically write very long sentences, highlight any sentences that are more than 2 lines long. Then you can return to those sentences later and decide if you will keep those long sentences as they appear or if you want to make any changes. If you have questions about anything we covered in this video, our online study hub is a great place to post questions and get a tutor response. If you would like to continue learning about this topic, we have a resource to help you determine if you've made substantial revisions, which can be found at the bottom link. Thank you for joining us to discuss revision versus editing, and we hope to see you in our next segment, revising thesis statements. Thank you.